Good evening and welcome everybody to another evening of NGS action. We are still in week one, but we're getting towards the end of it. And tonight we have to the top, all the way to the heroic division. We've got the Church of Orphea going up against Archon. One of these teams, actually recognizing both these teams, I believe one is just a rename. Church of Orphea, hadn't heard the name before, love the name, recognize a lot of the players, so I'm pretty sure they've been around for a while. They just decided to go with a rather fantastic name, if I do admit. And Archon, they're vets. They've been around for a long time. Seen them in a couple seasons. Been able to be one of those top tier competitive teams in the heroic division. Going to be able to take their way into a season 12 and look to make it their own here as we get going with this first match. We're getting the lobby set up, and I believe we are just waiting on one more person. We did start just a wee bit early. These teams are just eager, ready to start swinging. And so real quick, let me get you over to the map screen so you can kind of see what happened in the pre-game shenanigans that went underway. So starting off, Church of Orphea, they actually won the coin toss and they elected to go with map pick, sending first hero pick over to Archon. And oh, there we go, NyQuil. Church of Orphea is partially made of old Juan Direction. That's probably where I recognized like Juan Pablo, Coffee, all those other. I only got 3 of the members so far in from Church of Orphea, but I recognize both of those names from prior experiences in NGS. But getting into these maps, we've got Alterac Pass was banned out, as well as Brax's Holdout from the side of Church of Orphea. Meanwhile, on the side of Archon, they banned out Sky Temple, and I, breathed a sigh of relief, thank goodness, for that one, and Cursed Hollow as well. So a lot of the maps that remain are kind of some of the fun ones that, are more typically played, but can cause a lot of interesting strategies, especially in these higher division teams. We got one. We got the last person is actually in a game, so we're waiting for someone to finish up a game real quick. But where we're going to be headed, where Church of Orphea is going to send us first, is over to Dragonshire. So Dragonshire going to be that fun 3-lane map. Typically not seen a whole lot. I don't typically see Dragonshire in the lower competitive divisions. Just teams don't really seem to like it very much, I guess is the best way. But I love to see it in higher competitive divisions because there's so many different ways you can play Dragonshire. You can do the, one with a rotating 4, between bot and mid. You could do like the 1-1-3 where you have just a dedicated mid laner, or you could do the one with a like roaming camp clear / mid lane soak with like a high burst mage or something like a gray main that can clear camps really quick. But then there's also the possibility of pulling out champs like the Vikings, like Abathur, like even Murky I've seen come out on Dragonshire in high competitive play as of recently. So there's a lot of like fluidity that goes on with the ban and pick phase of this map that, once you start seeing the teams start to lock in their picks as they go through, you can kind of understand what kind of strategy they're going to start formulating here. But the typical Dragonshire map is going to be that kind of 1-1-3 with that one in the mid lane kind of being just like a floating mid laner kind of roaming between either top lane, bottom lane. So you're looking at like Zeratul or things with very fast wave clears such as high burst mages that can just clear things out. Your Jaina, your Gul'dan. Make sure these people know. Oh, actually, they didn't even care that I didn't give the ready. They're like, let's just go. And here we go, getting in to Dragonshire. Church of Orphea up against Archon. And I'm curious to see if we're going to see the meta. I anticipate Zagara is going to get a banned out. Zagara is just way, way too strong right now. And she has a really, really good wave clear on a map like Dragonshire. Can easily poke the waves down from a safe distance, control the shrine easily. But it's going to be the Phoenix first by Archon. They don't necessarily need to ban the Zagara. It is going to be the Church of Orphea banning that Zagara away. Just way too strong right now. But it's going to be the Phoenix and the Alexstrasza, 2 champions who Phoenix has a lot of damage potential around the objective fight, can do a lot of crowd control for his own team. But I'm curious, typically I'm not seeing the focus on Phoenix. There must be somebody, maybe a little bit of target ban. Alexstrasza definitely does very well on this map. Any objective fighting that requires a little extra damage, but also can put down those healing puddles for their own team around those shrine fights. Stitches get banned out. Vala left open. Vala, it's hit or miss with some teams. Some teams really like it and will put a huge priority onto the Vala. But with it, she's starting to fall into that tier where you need the double healer. But here we go. Junkrat picked up. And I mean, Junkrat has kind of been the story, at least for my casting this season. It's been the story of the season so far. Junkrat has kind of come back in, dominated the competitive meta once again. His ability to set up plays and pump out that really heavy damage is, second to almost none. With his playmaking ability. So Junkrat, very, very popular here. Hogger going to be taken in that top lane by Compute X, and then Johanna going to be picked up by Lou just in case, or yeah, I think I said that right. Lou just in case. But Johanna, she's going to be able to, we're already see the Junkrat picked in. I don't know if we'll see another auto attack. We may see that mage being focused here by the side of Archon. Now they're going to hold it till the second round. Going to pick up the Dahaka, get that global pressure from the top lane into the bot, and also add in the Stukov to be able to put down those silence puddles around the objective. Stukov going to also be able to put down that burst healing. In the event that Johanna gets a very, very good engage with the Blessed Shield, Stukov can pretty much disengage that entire fight and then heal up whoever was the focus. Mei actually being banned out. Solid ban. Mei, again, another good champion that controls objective. I mean, we're running out of champions that control objectives pretty quickly here. There's still Garrosh. Diablo can be one of those champions that can control it as well. But we're looking like we're getting further down in at least the main tank pool. And then on the side of the red team, we are looking at a Falstead ban. So Falstead gonna eliminate that global pressure there. Gonna be able to deny any type of global pressure. Well, I guess there's the Brightwing in. Brightwing coming in from the side of Church of Orphea. And Brightwing, again, has been at the top of the meta chain so far. She's done really, really well at being able to provide a lot of anti-CC control and being able to lock down engage compositions with the polymorph. So she's going to be able to also provide that teleport into the top lane to give Hogger that little bit of extra help he needs against the Dahaka. And Raynor going to be picked up by Juan Pablo here. I'm still looking to see this mage. Both teams kind of leaving it open what they want to do in the mid lane. Both teams have their off lane set, some of their main assassins set, and they also got their healer. We got the Tyrael being picked up and the Vala. So they wait until the last rotation to pick up the Vala. Gonna be able to lock it in here. And Tyrael gonna be able to be that steroid for her at level 7. Give her the extra movement speed and attack speed on that level 7 talent. So Vala looking to be that hyper carry as a secondary damage, but to be to note, Johanna was taken by the other team, so we got an auto attack coming out of Vala. Does put out a lot of damage with the W build, so focuses on most of the damage coming out of that W, those abilities. Meanwhile, Junkrat also focuses a lot of damage coming out of the Q in addition to the auto attack. So Johanna, as long as they stay split, Johanna's not going to have the easiest time locking them down, but she can take the extra blinding flare at level 1 to be able to lock them down. But Kira going to be taken here. And I anticipate that's actually going to go against Dahaka, so we may see Hogger in the 4-man here, or they may put Hogger in that mid lane and assign Hogger, since Hogger is that champion that does so well at being able to clear camps. We may see Hogger be that one in the mid lane. So let me get this set up. Predictions coming in. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to get it set. You've seen the drafts. Who's going to be to win here in game number 1? Is it going to be Church of Orphea starting off their season with the 1 win, or is it going to be Archon coming away with this double auto attack Tyrael composition? I really like a well-played Tyrael here, and I think Vala has that carry potential, especially with Junkrat being able to set her up for a lot of success. But I don't think they have the best wave clear unless Dahaka's going to try and commit with his rotation through bushes, that double soaking to match Hogger. Hogger's going to be able to clear out that mid lane really quick and then go try and grab a camp, whether it's his own bruiser camp or his own siege golems. He's going to be able to put that little bit of macro pressure on. So we're going to see the macro game in the early game, just by the composition, start to favor Church of Orphea. And then as the game progresses, that's where we might see Archon, when they get to those team fights or pick kind of plays that they're wanting to set up, may start to get their composition shining here.
Prepare for combat.
So let's get these teams introduced. On the blue side, we've got the Church of Orphea. We got TV Coffee sitting on the Kira. We got Just In Case on that Johanna. Got Juan Pablo on the Rainer. Computex on that Hogger. And we got Meat Bicycle on the Brightwing. Meanwhile, on the red side, we've got Archon. We got Little Bex on the Stukov. We got Bertuzio on the Tyrael. Sorry, it keeps moving. I can't see the R. JTR 30 on the Vala. We got Midnight Haze, I believe, on the Junkrat there? Yeah, that is going to be the Junkrat. And then we've got Fatal Rampage on the Dahaka. We see Church of Orphea going down for the bottom bush gank. Not sure the mid, but Vala scouting it out with an easy multi-shot, also getting the 2-stack. So Vala is going to go for the multi-stack build. We do see that Johanna actually picking up the Law of Hope early. Going to go in, take a fair bit of damage, but gets the stun onto the Dahaka, having to get himself away there. So big damage coming out from Church of Orphea in the early game, setting out the dominance and also looking to get any type of pressure in this mid lane. Unfortunately, Vala's going to continue to get the stacks, and they're a little just in case getting the Junkrat boot. And that is where we're going to be following most of this in the later games, is the Junkrat. Is he going to be able to set up the plays? They're setting up another gank. Vala was looking for it, but we got the stun. Kira getting the stun as well, but the big burst heal coming in from the Stukov negates all that, and now the counter engages on. Johanna and Kira both sitting fairly low. Brightwing going to take a while to clear back up, but it is going to be the Hogger up in the top lane. I thought it would be Kira. It is going to be the Hogger. And Johanna going to start off this camp right away. Going to get it started here. Going to need a little bit of help to get this going. And Rainer going to be committing to the solo defense with the camp being picked up in the bot lane, the siege camp by the side of Archon. Meanwhile, now Hogger going to be the one picking up the camp in the top lane. Johanna getting it started, Hogger finishing it off, and Rainer going to pick up the siege camp. So camp pressure favoring the side of Church of Orphea ever so slightly. They're going to be able to get it off, but we got Junkrat pushing in this bot lane. He's going to have control of the bottom shrine. Dahaka does have control in the top lane, but now we do see Kira going up against the Dahaka in the top lane, and this is the matchup I expected in this top lane. Brightwing going in, gets the polymorph on the Tyrael, not able to get the rest of the kill. Vala and Stukov still trying to finish off their bruiser camp, and they're going to be able to pick it up. So camp clear, timings on point from both teams, a little bit delayed from the side of Archon as expected. And the shrine available to be channeled by the side of Archon. Hogger going to delay it in the middle. Meanwhile, we've got Rainer and Johanna fighting off against the Tyrael and Junkrat here. And now the sides have swapped. Blue able to pick up the dragon here, but Vala and Stukov going to prevent that. It's kind of interesting. Both of these teams, we've got assigned, Rainer and Junkrat are both committing to the bot lane here, but everybody else is kind of just roaming around, haven't really set up the lanes. It is now Kira committing to the top lane as expected. Going to go up against the Dahaka, and I do believe that matchup heavily favors Kira here. Doing a good job pushing in with their Mercamp. Going to have full control over that top lane. Johanna has it in the bot lane as well, so the side of Church of Orphea, JTR has to back here, but Junkrat able to find a kill in the bot lane. I thought Johanna with the Iron Skin was just going to be able to get away from any type of engage, but Junkrat able to get it. Kira in the top lane, able to clear it off as well. So 1 kill apiece in the side lanes. And we were too busy watching all that action in the middle, trying to see if that channel was going to be able to go off. So 1 kill apiece, experienced slightly in favor of the side of Church of Orphea. And Hogger going to go down. Go ahead and start this channel off with Rainer and Hogger. Rainer does have the ace in the hole, doesn't pick the Exterminator, so going to lose a little bit of damage to the minion. But this should still be cleared up. We'll see. Junkrat's giving that, a little bit of assistance there. With Stukov trying to commit to the defense, Junkrat getting the boop. They're just trying to delay, let Vala get some pressure in the midway. Juan getting fairly low. Brightwing going to teleport herself in. Gets there. Kira misses the chain. Isn't going to connect with the stun. Meanwhile, Vala and Dahaka going up in the mid lane. Brightwing actually getting booped over by the Junkrat. That is going to secure a second kill, and that is on the healer. That is a huge pickup coming out from Archon. Again, as stated, Junkrat, one of those champions that's just slowly, not so slowly anymore, just has kind of come onto the scene here in this early Season 12. Being able to set up plays left and right for their team. And Junkrat already claiming a big assist in 2 of those kills. Almost getting a third one earlier with the boop over mid lane. Whenever you're going up against a Junkrat, it's tough. You always have to factor in, do I go the Anduin to get the extra support just in case Junkrat gets that boop? Electing to go with the Brightwing here, get a little bit play the map more than the comp here. Brightwing doing very well on Dragonshire. Anduin just favoring a little bit heavier into the anti-Junkrat, the anti-pull comp. So we'll just have to keep our eye on that Junkrat the rest of the game. Brightwing actually teleporting up in the top lane, getting in with Hogger, and now Kira is here as well. Will they be able to get this kill onto the Dahaka? He's got the speed boost, gets underneath, does the burrow, not going to be able to fall. And Dahaka able to get himself away. And Raynor now under pressure here in the bot lane. Siege minions with both DPS in the bot lane. Vault actually vaulting forward. Isn't able to connect, but she's sitting at 16 sec. Johanna going to rotate all the way. Now thinks better of it. Backed herself up. Tyrael is here. Will be able to take the Q. Get himself back with the rest of his team. And Junkrat continuing to put some pressure here. Going to be able to get the boop. Knocks Johanna with him. The Condemn is down. The Iron Skin being popped. Dahaka is here. Misses the tongue, but they will be able to secure this kill. Brightwing's going to come and make sure Raynor does not fall, but that is a pickup by Archon. Their 10s are online, and here they come. Strafe picked up by the Vala. Sanctification picked up by Tyrael. Massive shove by Stukov. Riptire by Junkrat. Dahaka holding on. Gonna get that in isolation at level 10, but Kira wanting to pick the fight. Gets the spin and then thinks better of it. Able to bounce off. Get back to the rest of the team. And now we've got Johanna coming in. 5 strength, again, 10s online for the side of the Church of Orphea as well. Kira gonna go for that unrelenting strike. Blessed Shield by the Johanna. It's gonna be Raynor's Raiders, actually picked up by Raynor. Blink heal by Brightwing. And Hogger did go for that Shockwave. Not gonna go for the Holder Pull. Gonna get more of that upfront CC, try to chain it with Johanna. And get the double stun. Junkrat actually gets engaged on Blessed Shield, doesn't have any way to get away. Gonna go down here. Nice lockdown coming in from Johanna, recognizing there was no further way for Junkrat to get away. Just threw out the Blessed Shield, said, Raynor, here you go. And that kill going over for the Church of Orphea. Got control of the shrines. Now will they be able to get the dragon in the middle. Camps are being picked up by the side of Archon. They have that Bruiser camp in the top lane to help with the Dahaka. Gonna try and get some pressure relief. Hogger gonna make sure that that doesn't happen. And the siege being set up in the bot lane. Brightwing gonna teleport actually to the mid lane here. Gonna give some assistance to Kira here. And we still got Hogger against Dahaka. And this one is gonna favor Dahaka just a little bit, as long as he can stay away. But the channel does get finished off here in the mid lane. Kira able to pick it up. Tyrael not able to get the last interrupt. And that means this dragon will start sieging mid. Now the thing with dragon, it doesn't, you know, it's not seen as one of the strongest objectives in the game. If you pick it up, it's like, hey, we got the dragon. All right, let's see if we can get maybe one fort. But usually it's just a wall. If the wall's down, maybe you get the fort, or you just go ahead and try and get the Hell Fountains. They're going to take it bottom. See if they can, what damage they can get on this bottom fort. With the Dragon Knight, typically not focused a lot by both teams with the amount of anti-CC that can be picked up by teams and just how unhealthy it is. It's going to get burned down here. Gets about a quarter of the fort. And now the engage is on. Raynor getting knocked around. Vala going to jump in. An important thing to note, you know, I was curious how Tyrael was going to build this. Thought he would go, oh, never mind. Dahaka comes in, misses the tongue. Going to continue to follow up. May look to put the isolation down on Johanna. Brightwing's going to teleport herself in. Gets the heal off. Has Blink Heal. Big Blessed Shield for a disengage. But Kira gets knocked in there. Straight being thrown down by the Vala. Able to secure the kill onto Kira. And that's a nice rotation down by Dahaka. Hogger using this time to get some more map pressure for his team. Make sure they keep the macro game in their favor. Keep the experience gap. But I was talking about with Tyrael earlier, I thought he was going to go the attack speed steroid and the movement speed. You know, go for that hyper carry Vala kind of situation. Maybe it would have made more sense if the Ariel was the healer instead of the Stukov. But electing instead at 7 to go with that reciprocate. So gonna go from the AoE, try to put himself in the middle of the opposing team and let that shield expire and do that damage to anybody within the vicinity. And that may have been a decision just because of the Johanna. You know, with Johanna being a very strong anti-auto attack tank, Not necessarily wanting to focus too much on stimming Vala and letting her hyper carry if she can't land the auto attacks. Kira, unfortunately, wasn't able to land it there, but Blessed Shield going down by the Johanna. The Riptire is coming in all the way from downtown. The Sanctification goes out. Now the counter engages on. Look at the damage. The Stukov root is huge. The Strafe coming in. And oh my goodness, everybody on Church of Orphea has to get out of here. That's going to be 3 kills picked up by Archon. A beautifully timed Sanctification from Tyrael negated any type of invade there. The invade just didn't seem... Everybody was quite there, right behind Kira. Kira was in, and then everybody was just a little delayed. Tyrael gets the Sanctification down. The Riptire comes in, and the Stukov, able to use the Silence root to get everybody in that Silence pool, get the damage down, and ultimately, the Riptire just able to shred everybody. Junkrat trying to get himself away. Raiders on the pursuit, not going to be able to finish off the kill. And that is the first fort going down in the bot lane. Kira gonna try to continue this engage on Dehaka here. Gets the spin, doesn't get the knockback. Nice burrow by Dehaka to make sure she gets off of him. Looking to try and see if he can pick something up there with the tongue. Isn't able to find it. And Hogger gonna be able to get this channel off in the top lane. So far Archon transitioning very well into the mid game here. I like what I'm seeing. They're able to continue to, you know, keep the pressure on, even though the composition coming out of Church of Orphea is scary. Especially with this Kira. But we got a nice rotation out. Hogger getting out of the unstoppable. Brightwing get the blink heal away. Here comes the Riptire. Gonna be able to do damage to all 3 members there. Kira was able to get the anti-challenge. Johanna not in the neighborhood yet. On her way up. Kira looking like she may be positioning to fight or just get away. Brightwing getting the teleport in. Goes in the backline. Kira really was looking for this fight. He wanted to get the fight here, but Johanna just didn't rotate up. Brightwing gets rooted out by the Stukov. Well done by Stukov there. And that is going to be kill secured. Now they have to run. It looked like Coffee was in the mindset, you know, I was curious if he was going to get off and only do the half cycle. Elected to go for the entire cycle there. Going to get the knockback here. Nope. Going to just get off and see if he can get himself away. The hunt is on, and that is going to be Kira falling here. And Archon still continuing to find members. Johanna trying to get away. Pops the Iron Skin. We've been following this chase since it started in the top lane. Blessed Shield goes down. Tyrael not able to get the body block, but the... Oh my gosh, Junkrat does get it. The fadeaway Kobe connects. And that is 3 kills going over to the Archon here. But Church of Orphea able to get the top fort. Some small prize there. Gets back on 16 talent tiers. And now we'll see if they're able to defend this keep here. Siege is on. The keep's already down to about half health. There's a fight between Dehaka up in the top lane. We're looking to see if they can continue to finishing this one off. That chase just went forever. Bonkai coming in with the raid. Welcome everybody, and thank you, Bonkai. Hope your stream went well. Hope it was a lot of fun over there. Definitely appreciate everybody coming in. We are in game number 1 of Heroic Division right now. An epic matchup between Archon and the Church of Orphea. It was a little back and forth to start off, but Church of Orphea seemed to have found their groove here in the mid lane, or in the mid game, excuse me, and in the mid lane. And they're starting to increase, you know, start to assert their dominance. They're able to get the fort and the keep in the bot lane with that last play. And now if you're on the side of Church of Orphea, you just want to see them start to get back into their macro game that they had in the early part of the game. Able to use that heavy macro pressure, that quick camp clearing with the Hogger to really allow themselves to dictate the pressure there. They may end up picking up a good chunk of this bot lane. Got the minions pushing in. The camp being picked up by the side of Church of Orphea, or sorry, Archon. Church of Orphea is the one that are sieging. Now we got a 4-on-4 for the defense. Dehaka does not have the ability to get down here. Already used the burrow. But Hogger going to go back, and he's going to get back on camp clear duty. And again, we're going to go back to the macro game, which is exactly what Church of Orphea did well. Now, the 20s are right around the corner for the side of Archon. So if Church of Orphea are looking to fight pre-20, they got to find it soon. Otherwise, it looks like they're just going to be content to set up the farm game and try and defend here in the middle. Sorry, in the bottom, not the middle. I'm looking at the bottom. I'm looking at the middle, but I'm talking about the bottom lane. But right now, it looks like they're just content doing the soak, giving up the 20s to the side of Archon, and Archon immediately looking to fight. They know they have the 20 advantage. Sanct upgrade for Tyrael, and we got the Siphon coming out from Vala, and that is where Vala turns into a very, very scary Vala. Gonna be able to use that Death Siphon to just get in there and basically be a tank as long as you can avoid all the crowd control. Johanna Blessed Shield is really the only thing, and the Polymorph, that she's looking for the hard CC. I guess the Kira could also get the stun. But Kira maybe looking for a fight. Dahaka comes in, getting fairly low. This could be a good engage. Dahaka actually gets the burrow off, and now we want to see the disengage coming out of Church of Orphea. They look like they may have found a small play there. Dahaka coming in from behind, able to turn around, focus him quickly. If Kira had landed the stun, they may have picked up the kill on Dahaka. Dahaka was getting a little bit greedy. Gonna be able to finish off the Dragon Knight though. Trusted his ability to get the burrow off. Now if you're Church of Orphea, you just delay in this mid lane, use Raynor and Kira to kind of poke it away and set up through the bot lane. Interesting to note, there's still the Siege and the Bridge of Death there in the top lane. It's gonna go down pretty quickly here. But they're looking like they're just trying to farm for 20. Use their Storm Talents, get on the same Storm Talents here. Try not to give up too much in the mid lane. Dragon Knight down to about half health. Johanna fairly low, Hogger very low. So that's gonna set up a nice siege over this keep. Dahaka just trying to make sure he can get back, keep himself healthy, use the Q every once in a while to keep the burning going. And then just backs himself off. Wants to get every last second out of this dragon that he can. Dares anybody to come and try and finish him off. Pressure starting to mount in the bot lane, but that amount of soak there in the bot lane will allow Hogger to maybe go get 20s for his own team. We'll see if Hogger can get the remaining soak. This mid keep looks like it will go down. Just a few more attacks from Junkrat from safety, and that will be the keep falling. But 20 is now online for the side of Church of Orphea. Johanna fairly low. Does have the indestructible, misses the Blessed Shield there. The Riptire coming out, so they don't have the stun lock they're looking for. Death Siphon is available for Vala. She hasn't quite used it that, and there she goes, throwing down the Death Siphon. Kira first to fall, Johanna next, and top. Look at this Vala, just continuing to Death Siphon through the entire team, taking a few keep shots. I mean, my oh my. That's what happens when you lose the hard crowd control against a Death Siphon Vala. It just gets scary. And it's 3 kills with 50-second death timers, and that is going to be Archon going ahead and taking the 1-0 victory here in their Week 1 Heroic Division matchup. And I mean, you love to see the Tyrael Vala come in as the 4th and 5th pick there and just utilize that frontline sanctification for the anti-hard engage coming out from the side of the Church of Orphea, and then turn it around with the Vala. And that when Vala gets to 20, I mean, Vala gets very, very scary. So well done by Archon there. Looking at the stats real quick, Vala putting out 70k, Junkrat putting out 63 as well. And the story of that early game was Junkrat. He set up a couple of those early kills for his team, got himself and the team a little bit of that early experience. Didn't allow Church of Orphea to use their macro game to get as much pressure as they could have had they not lost. I believe it was Johanna in one instance and Brightwing in the second. But I mean, you look at the overall damage, the Church of Orphea, they didn't build for a ton of damage. Raynor, only getting 37k, Kira getting 30k, Hogger getting 36. They didn't have a huge amount of damage. They had the isolation picks with Kira for sure, if they could get it, but they were playing the macro game. They were using Hogger, they were using Brightwing, Kira. Kira had the favorable one-on-one against the Haka. Hogger trying to get those camps as fast as he can, then Brightwing being able to teleport up and just using Johanna and Raynor to delay. It worked, and then all of a sudden, it stopped working, and Archon found a way in that once those 10s came online, got the Dahaka coming down, and ended up getting this game to continue to snowball in their favor, and ultimately taking on to a very, very well played second half of that game and taking an early victory. Tyrael had some big sanks. Absolutely, Tyrael had some big sanks. Tyrael had some huge sanctifications coming in there, and you love to see Tyrael coming in. What role they got you playing on your new team? They're letting me play tank. I'm so happy. I'm back to where I love to be. And it's a lot of fun. All right. Let me get that win registered for Archon. We'll get ourselves back over to the map screen while I get game number 2 set up. These teams, like I said, they're ready to go. Let me see who picked the map. Looked like the map was again picked by Church of Orphea. They had the option to choose if they wanted first pick or map pick. Got the readies coming out. These teams are just itching to fight. And they're sending us to Volskaya Foundry. So Volskaya Foundry is where we're going to go here in game number 2. Not a... oh, hell yeah. Not my favorite map to cast for sure. Typically not... I don't know. It's definitely worn out its welcome. For the sole reason of Volskaya Foundry, no matter what happens, it always seems to go to level 20. I cannot remember for the life of me the last time I saw a game of Volskaya Foundry end before level 20. But yeah, it goes late, always goes late. It can be, you know, a lot of fun, but it can also get pretty stale in the, you know, the way the map tends to unfold. You siege up, whoever wins objective number 1 takes protector to the top lane. Then we set up a success for protector number 2, which goes to the bot lane, which sets up the win condition. So we'll see how these teams go, but same bans so far coming out from either side. Phoenix and Alexstrasza, this have to be target bans coming out here. Somebody from Heroic Division who's doing the scouting, they can definitely let me know. Those are target bans coming out from the side of Archon. Church of Orphea getting rid of the Zagar again. We'll see if they get rid of that Tyrael or Vala or the Junkrat. All three had, and that's not to, you know, throw shade to the Dahaka or to the Stukov. Both those two had good games as well. And it's going to actually be the Stukov that is focused. Stukov having that huge silence and root on that bottom camp invade coming in from the Church of Orphea really just turned that around with Tyrael and allowed, that was kind of the start of where Archon just took off with that game. But JTR gonna take the Junkrat here. It's interesting they said they put JTR on it because JTR played the Vala. Vala is still open. I wonder if that's like a, look, we put JTR on it, we're not going to pick Vala and then maybe trade it out later, or if JTR is like, nope, it's my turn to play Vala this time. Zul'jin going to be picked up by Juan Pablo, and Meat Bicycle going to pick up the Uther here. So big change coming out of the Church of Orphea. Going to try something new here. Yeah, I've seen that a few times as well. Volskaya, maybe it's just because that's what every team expected, and so now teams are just trying to change it up with like a straight shove down a lane instead of just going for the B. I don't know. I've seen teams go for bot lane with the Protector first, and I'm like, that one's really interesting. And their logic was, yeah, we take the first Protector bot lane, get the fort, take the second Protector bot lane, get the keep, take the third Protector bot lane, get the core. And I was like, okay, I guess I can see it. But we'll see. Anyway, Decker Kane and Johanna picked up by the side of Archon. And Johanna immediately picked up. Picking Zul'jin first, that means Johanna, if Johanna's not banned, going to be picked up by the other team. Going to be assigned to Zul'jin duty, make sure he doesn't get his stacks. Greymane and Deathwing banned out by both sides. Deathwing response, I'm guessing, was to the Greymane. You ban out the Greymane, you ban out the Deathwing. Because that's what it looked like the side Church of Orphea really wanted there with those bans. And it's going to be the Holy Cow coming out. Coffee going to pick up the ETC. Li Ming by Compute X just going to throw down the Divine Shield onto that cow, let him get in and get a mosh without the interrupt, and then use Li Ming to just get as much burst damage down as she can onto whichever target is caught by this Holy Cow. So I like it. Kind of a big shift in the team. Not going to play the macro. Now they're looking to find the fights. They're looking to be the ones that really, really want to initiate these engages. Going to be a little harder with the front line coming out, especially with the Yrel being added into the mix, because now you got to commit to the fight, but you also have to be aware that Yrel can just jump onto your backline and bully everybody off with that Ardent Defender. So she can get on top of the Zul'jin, get on top of the Leeming, and basically negate the follow-up from ETC. So it's going to be really tricky, and Mephisto can jump in too with this Shade. So ETC is going to have to be really careful here, trying to figure out what kind of engages he wants. Has to make sure that Yrel and Mephisto are not in the position to really start to abuse his back line, because if they are, he's going to have no follow-up on these moshes. So it's going to be really fun to watch how ETC plays this out. But just in case, picking up the Vikings here as the last pick. Sorry, I didn't even give the points away from the first one. Here come your points. I'm going to start the prediction for game number 2. I'll give you guys 2 minutes again. Enjoy your points. Sorry, I forgot to throw those ones out there. These teams are just on fire with how they wanted to get this game going. But there's your predictions. Get them in here. We'll see how this goes. I mean, I really like the response I saw out of Archon again from the draft. Really responding well to the draft, finding ways to make sure that their team is able to be in a position set up for success. I'm really curious how this Vikings is going to play, though. But let's get these two teams introduced. On the blue side, we got Church of Orphea. We got Juan Pablo on the Zul'jin. We got Meat Bicycle on the Uther. Coffee on that ETC. Computex on the Li Ming. And just in case on the Vikings. Meanwhile, on the red side, Archon. We got JTR on the Junkrat. We got Midnight Haze on the Mephisto. Little Bex on the Decker Kane. Vertuzio on the Johanna. And Fatal Rampage is on that Yrel. Uther gonna stack himself up. Johanna going for the Law's Hope as well. Sapphire picked up by the Decker Kane at level 1 too. And the Bribe actually picked up by the Vikings. Gonna try and control that camp. Maybe get an invade as well. But man, if Church can get this combination, this Holy Cow combination off and find a way to make it work away from the Yrel, I'm really excited to see if they can get this combo off. They've got the damage for sure to kill any targets that get caught inside this mosh. ETC looking for a fight. Yrel able to jump away. Li Ming trying to get the last few shots in. Not going to get the kill. We're going to see the 4-man just sitting in the bot lane for the side of the Church of Orphea. Going to try and get their camps on timer. Camp comes up immediately. ETC, Zul'jin, and Li Ming all on it. Uther actually walking away too. 2 Vikings in the top lane here. You know, I kind of just want to follow the Vikings around all game just to see how the Vikings play this one. Because it's a very interesting pick on a map like Volskaya, where the map's a little smaller. It's a 3-lane map, but it's a little smaller 3-lane map. And I'm looking for the invade here. Yrel just trying to body everybody off. The stun goes down. ETC misses the power slide. So that's going to negate the rest of that fight there. Zul'jin sitting on about 5 stacks right now. Johanna only having the 1 blinding, or the shield flare. Didn't elect to get the second one at level 1. Gonna go for the Laws of Hope instead at 5 stacks so far. So going for sustain. Fight over the camp has started. Junkrat sitting on it. Has the boop sitting on the point. Gonna try and continue to pick up this protector. Does get the heal off. Big Decker Groot coming in here. Everybody jumped up by the Condemn. And that is Zul'jin falling quickly. And I believe that is Eric falling with him. Yeah, that was Eric that fell. Man, I gotta remember my Vikings. This is my 3rd Vikings cast, I believe. Like, never cast the Vikings at all last season. I've had 3 so far this season, so I'm learning my Vikings play, which is a lot of fun. But big Decker Groot coming in there. I mean, they set it up well. They kind of baited out the protector, and then Decker just comes in and was able to clear. They really don't have to hard commit either. They have so much, you know, Mephisto could just jump in, When he needs to, shades in, does his damage, then gets himself safe again, heals himself back up. Same with Junkrat, can poke safely from range. So they don't have to heavy commit to any of these fights if they don't want to until the very, very last second. It's on the side of Church of Orphea to be the ones to instigate these fights, and the longer they wait for these fights, the lower their health bars are going to get. I mean, look at Li Ming and Zul'jin right now, just so low. They get the kill again onto Eric. So that is 2 kills. They're looking to actually try to get the Junkrat. They're going to catch him here. Junkrat can try and boop himself to safety. Goes down for the bush, but not going to get away. That is going to be a kill onto the Junkrat there. So nice rotation up. Balog actually falling in the bot lane here to the Urel. And it's going to be impossible to keep up with these Viking kills. Sometimes they die so quick. But now we're seeing ETC get into the mid lane, looking to find that fight again. Have the 4-man, looking for any type of stun they can get, looking for Urel. Gets the combos down, waited until Li Ming had her combination up, and gets the kill there. So nice patience coming out of Coffee there, holding the power slide until Urel had her abilities back up. Sorry, not Urel. Li Ming had her abilities back up and was able to put them both on Urel with the power slide and able to secure that kill. So Church of Orphea getting a few good rotations out of their cow with their 4-man and able to pick up some kills here. Have about 70% so far completed on the channel here. And now we're going to get to the time where we're going to get the 5-on-5 commitment from both teams over the objective. You can see lands the slide on Johanna. Virtuoso getting very low, but here comes the Decker Root again. They get the Li Ming. They're able to get the Eric with them, and that is going to be Uther next to fall. ETC as well, and that was just a slaughter coming in from the side of Archon. Well orchestrated there. Deckard again getting a massive 4-man root. I mean, pay that old man, because he's been putting out some serious work in these 2 team fights that have really favored Archon. And they're going to get rewarded there with the Punisher. So let's see, NyQuil, where they end up taking this thing. How is Archon going to play the first Punisher phase? They're going to chill for a second, switch positions. I don't want to be the driver. Johanna wants to be in charge of the Protector. We all saw that. Gonna get the wall and then take it top lane. This is more of the meta, the typical rotation you see out of the first Protector. Gonna go up, try to get that well. The well being the ultimate prize. Gonna shoot it over the wall too. 10's online now for both teams. We'll see. The Durance of Hatred comes out, does not connect there. So we'll see how these 10's ultimately fight. ETC, the Holy Cow is ready. ETC finds a Mephisto with the power slide. Doesn't use the knockback yet. There he uses it, looking for Li Ming to get the final kill here. Li Ming standing right next to Protector. Protector doing some damage, ends up getting the kill, so the Protector was just able to get a few punches onto the Li Ming, who was trying to get herself in position to get the Mephisto. Wasn't able to find it. The root goes down onto Uther. Mephisto just starts to shred him. D-shield thrown out by the Uther. Gonna be able to walk himself away. But a kill picked up again by Archon. And ultimately, Archon gonna continue to get these camps. Gonna pick up the health camp here in the mid lane. Let's go over the rest of these ultimates. It was the mosh pit by the ETC. Tazdingo is played by the Zul'jin. Play again by the Vikings. Divine Shield by the Uther. And it's going to be the Wave of Disruption. Did I get it right finally? Dang it, Wave of Force. I always call it Wave of Disruption because it's an interrupt. Wave of Force by the Li Ming. It's going to be the Stay a While enlisted by the Deckercade. The Riptire by Junkrat again. Durance of Hatred by the Mephisto. Ardent Defender coming in from the Urel. And it's going to be the Falling Sword from the Johanna. And we're, one of the most important things we want to pay attention to in this game, always keep in mind Zul'jin with his stack count at 24 so far. So still doing a fairly good job getting his stacks. 7 minutes of the game at 24. The later this gets, the more Zul'jin is going to be able to put out for his damage. And so we'll see if Zul'jin can just continue to get himself sacked. The one thing to keep in mind, said it before the draft, Volskaya always goes to level 20. So we're going to be able to get Zul'jin pretty late into this game. And the Vikings also get very scary once they get up to level 20 as well. So we'll see you know, the late game composition out of the Church of Orphea. Maybe they can find a way not to fall too far behind here. So far, they've lost some of these big fights, but ultimately not lost many structures here. Let's see if they can keep doing that and make their way back into this game. Archon going to go pick up their fortification camp here in the bot lane. Continue to put their item. I believe that's 3 items to 1. I think Eric has an item, if I remember right. Yeah, nobody has an item up here, and I believe... Oh, Eric's in the mid lane. Sorry. There's Eric. Yeah, Eric's got a turret. So 3 items to 1 so far on the item count. The one thing to know, Archon I think is doing a very good job of is they're not, you know, they're rotating safely, picking up camps, not really forcing a lot around these objectives, outside of these objectives, because they don't want to give Zul'jin the stacks. They want to prevent Zul'jin from getting even higher on these stacks and doing that much more damage. So they're just sitting at a safe distance, allowing Junkrat really to be the main source of disengage. And now we'll see where these teams elect to fight here on this next objective. They get the slide and the stun on Johanna, has the Iron Skin to get herself out, no problem at all. Mephisto taking a little bit of damage there, but will be able to heal himself up with the Deckard, and that's what Mephisto likes to do. Get in, get a little bit of shred down, and then back himself up. Look at the damage you put onto the Zul'jin there. The Divine Shield actually committed to the Zul'jin. That means ETC won't have it for the Mosh. ETC sliding in with the power slide is not able to find anyone. And Mephisto immediately coming back in. The stun goes down, but Mephisto able to just pop back with the shade. And look at this delay. I mean, again, Archon not committing to anything here, just using their ability to poke, knowing that Uther not necessarily the best healer, as long as Zul'jin and Li Ming can be separated. If they stay together, Uther can get a little bit more healing out, but I mean, look at the damage that's just coming out. Zul'jin continuing to get these stacks though, at 30 now. Finishes the quest, gets the second rotation out of the play. There it comes, a big Endurance of Hatred. ETC had no way of getting out of that one. Played again, thrown by the Vikings. They are in. Deckard getting a big stay a while. And listen, the Vikings trying to kill the Mephisto, then turn around, but not able to get back. The support camp is dropped, and so far it is 1 2/3 to 0 in this fight, and that is going to be the second kill. All the Vikings are down, and that is going to be Archon for a 2-0 kill. 16s for their team. And the patience coming out of Archon. I mean, everybody needs to take note. This is a very, very experienced team, showing why they're going to be a force to reckon with for sure in this Season 12. Just doing a great job at not committing to these fights, allowing themselves to just get the poke in, and waiting for, you know, the Church of Orphea to eventually just be forced to try and find something or completely give up and back off whatever kind of engage it was, because Mephisto and Junkrat just put down so much poke from range, a very safe range. It's insane. And there's the second protector picked up. No contestation due to being down 16s. 16s now will be picked up by this side of the Church of Orphea, and they will be able to continue to push into this bot lane. I believe that was Balog falling in the bot lane to Yrel. Or no, it's Deckard Cain, excuse me. Must have fallen right under in that top lane. The Punisher actually going for the mid lane. Gonna see what he can get there. Zul'jin at 37 stacks. Played again. Is thrown. ETC gets the Mosh onto the Johanna there, and they do have the Shred, but, or sorry, that was the Yrel. Johanna's in the Protector, but that huge Endurance of Hatred coming out with the Shred, able to turn this thing around. Mephisto not done, gets the Li Ming. So that is 2 kills to none so far in favor of Archon, and they're going to take this Protector at 2% health down into the bot lane. That one was Balog falling there. And the side of Archon continuing to siege with this 2% Protector. I mean, that's incredible. Big stun coming on the Mephisto, but they don't have any real follow-up except for the Zul'jin. Uther now in deep enemy territory, has to run, doesn't throw down the turret either, so the turret is going to swap sides here. Johanna picking it up. The item advantage. Look at 1, 2, 3 turrets and 1 support camp. The item advantage in favor of Archon. Endurance of Hatred was thrown out. Mephisto going fishing. Wasn't able to find a bite there. And 20s are just around the corner for the side of Archon. ETC, look at the damage. The shred coming in from the Mephisto and the Junkrat on the ETC is just insane. It's going to be really tough. I mean, Deckard's starting to turn into a little bit of a tank here too. Just stands on his potions and it's like, come at me. But if you are on the side of Church of Orphea, they're not out of it. They just need to get to their 20s, and this game could turn right on around. They have a lot of damage. They will be able to pick whatever target they want. There goes the Endurance of Hatred on to the Li-Ming. The D-Shield does fall. And here comes Yrel jumping in. Has the Unstoppable Falling Sword committed here as well. Uther going to be the second one to fall. 2 Vikings down so far. And that's going to be 1 kill for none. Play again is thrown down by the Vikings, but the bottom keep is under siege. Yrel jumping in, gets a knockback from the ETC, so she won't be able to land that jump. The Riptire actually gets a lot of damage down onto the Zul'jin. Yrel looked like she wanted to go get that kill, but thought better of it. And now the win condition with the Protector is available for the side. Li-Ming actually getting engaged upon. Taz Dingo is thrown down, Falling Sword right on top of it. Zul'jin trying to keep himself alive. Yrel pops the Ardent Defender and just walks up to the top. Gonna be able to just hop over the wall, and off she goes. Gonna get herself away. So 18's here. 19's right around the corner. The Vikings will be able to get the soak for the 20. The item advantage is still heavily in favor of Archon, but the 20s will be probably available. It's going to be close. I anticipate they'll be available right around, depending on how fast they get onto this Protector in the bot lane from the side of Archon. I anticipate the 20s will be online for the side of the Church of Orphea. Almost certainly they will be online. So as long as they're only losing Vikings, who have the play again available in 5 more seconds, the Church of Orphea will be able to commit. And I'm wondering if ETC is going to go for this teleport here. He's having a very tough time finding the positioning to get that Mosh down. Granted, it's a very tough comp to get a Mosh down. Like, ETC, we were saying it, ETC was going to be the one to watch this game. It's a very tough composition to go into and land the Mosh. So we'll see if he's able to do that. Tiger Hot's coming in with 100 cheers. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm hoping this goes to a game number 3, so I'm rooting for Church of Orphea right now. I know I'm not supposed to be biased, but I really want to go all the way to a game number 3. It's always more fun. But we'll see how they play this out. It's going to be actually the tour bus picked up by the ETC. So he's going to look for a Mosh and then look to reposition himself with the Mosh. So going to be able to power slide in the middle of the Mosh to get the reposition. Uther going for the AoE Divine Shield, the upgraded Divine Shield, so going to be able to hit multiple targets with it. But this Protector at 87%, it's got to be the win condition's open. The thought now from Church of Orphea is, here they go. We've got to get this fight right in this area, and we've got to commit to the full fight here and get. They have 2 in the Protector so far, so if they can find the Mephisto is the one they want. If they can find it, the Vikings are running all the way in for it. They do find the Yrel. Endurance of Hatred goes out onto the ETC. He is rooted, he is crowd controlled, and he is down. Doesn't get the shield, isn't able to get anywhere with that. And look at the Protector coming in clean up here. Taz Dingo thrown down by Zul'jin. Gonna get sent for a ride and sent packing. That is 3 kills to none so far. The Vikings still alive, able to get the play again off. Li-Ming right in the middle, trying to put down the damage. That is 2 more Vikings down. Li-Ming may get herself away, but ultimately the Protector is going to be able to finish this off. The win conditions there. Li Ming going one-on-one against the Real. Real's just holding on to that. Okay, she does drop the turret there. We're going to watch this. See who gets the kill there. Oh, it is Li Ming! Li Ming gets the kill, trying to dodge the falling sword, doesn't get it, but Li Ming able to dance just well enough to get that kill. And that will be game number 2 in the series, going over to Archon. Well played by the red team for sure. Having 2 very, very solid performances there. And that's the thing that I really enjoyed about Archon the most. They played 2 very kind of patient compositions. They really didn't try and force anything. They let the Church of Orphea be the ones to pick almost all the fights, but they had themselves in such good positioning that it was the most frustrating thing in the world to have to find that fight. It was just so difficult to get the ETC in a position to get a mosh down for his team to allow Zueljin and Li Ming. The one time they found it in the top lane, Li Ming was trying to get herself in position, but with all the minions, she actually had to try and run near the Protector, and then the Protector just ended up finishing her off. So it was really, really challenging to get in on such a slippery comp with a huge front line coming out of Archon. So well played there. Let me see if I can message one of our captains here from Archon. All the way up in the heroic division. I'm going to drop into one of these channels here and see what I can find. I'm going to go fishing for this. NyQuil coming in saying, Archon looking hella scary though. Absolutely agree. Hello.
Hello.
This is Virtuoso. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Virtuoso?
Yep, that's correct.
All right, Virtuoso, our tank extraordinaire from Archon. Congratulations. How's the team feeling right now?
Oh, we're feeling good. It's nice to be playing again.
Yeah, absolutely. It was enjoyable, the little bit of a breather we got, but back at it, getting that hero's itch scratched. So why don't you give everybody here watching, since we are in week 1, a little bit of background. I know Archon's been around for a little while here, but give everybody else a little bit of background on Archon and what they're about.
Okay, cool. Archon, I believe the core 3 are JTR, Bex, and Midnight. And they kind of formed, and the other 2 slots have been, I guess, varied over time. But we've been playing with this 5-man roster with me and Fatal for a couple of seasons now, 4 seasons maybe. And yeah, they're just friends. I mean, I was on a different team and I met them through Heroic Division or something, and we just played some games together, and we jived, so we played games.
Jived. I like the way you said that. So decided to play some games together. Ultimately, I know Archon's had some pretty good success in the past with some of your seasons for sure. So getting into this series, Church of Orphea, from what I gathered from a couple of people and looking at some of these names, it seems like it's a newer team conglomeration of a couple people. So or a couple old teams kind of just came together into this new team. So what was your guys' strategy? I mean, I saw the Phoenix and the Alex Straza bans that had to have been target bans instead of just, yeah, we don't want to see those. So what was going on with that?
Yeah, we've played against, I forget which team they were on before, but Juan Pablo and Coffee were on the same roster before. We've known them for a little bit. Juan Pablo's a good Phoenix player. I was told that their support player is a good Alex player. I don't remember playing against that person though. So yeah, just take away some comforts and then play our game, basically.
Okay, and the game, going to the game, looking into that game number 1, I mean, was the plan always the Vala was left open until the very last round? Was it anything else talked about with the composition, or were you guys like, no, we're just going to hold Tyrael and Vala until the very end, and then once we see what forms out for them, we're just going to put that one down?
Yeah, we've been messing around with Tyrael a little bit. The Vala pick we were debating. I actually don't think it was optimal. I think there were a few other picks that secrets, but
Hmm.
a few other things we were talking about in that slot. But it worked out okay. It was just super scaling kind of poke comp. It worked out okay.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like the going got rough there in the early game for a little bit. Teams were more just like it was scrapping back and forth, each team picking up a
Hmm.
couple kills. They definitely had a lot of macro pressure in the early game, which we saw coming out with them picking up the Hogger and the Kira. We're
Hmm.
looking at them going for more of a macro style. How did you guys kind of adjust to that? And then ultimately seemed like the pedal started hitting the metal around those level 10s, and it didn't let up until the core fell.
Yeah, I mean, we were. I think we were managing our losses well. Like, they definitely are stronger earlier. Pretty much, the Tyrael team is going to be weaker pre-10, right?
Hmm.
So we got bullied a little bit in that front, but they didn't stretch the lead too much. And then we got the really nice fight on our siege camp, and I mean, the whole time is just like, okay, well, we outscale, so as long as the advantage isn't too big, we win. And then we won a fight like right at level 10 too, so it was pretty much smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, it seemed like the flip that I was saying that got switched was around that. It looked like they kind of tried to do a camp invade on your guys's like siege camp in the bot lane on Dragonshire,
Hmm.
and Vala and Stukov were actually up finishing off your Bruiser camp. So
Yep.
it looked like it could have gone either way, and then we saw the Vala and Stukov rotate down. So kind of walk us through that play, because for me, that's kind of where this game took off for Archon.
Oh, just easiest sank of my life. That's it. There's
I mean, you
the
got to tip your Stukov there too.
no, true, 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 true. I mean, I also saved her though, so
That is
but
that is true. Like the save
but
came out, the save goes out, and that kind of became the story for the rest of game one, and then almost all the way through game two is this very patient, kind of let Church of Orphea figure out where they want to go, and then just
mhm.
respond to it, and then counter engage and commit and run at them kind of deal. Was that always the plan? I mean, we talked about this in game one, but was that kind of the plan going into just knowing the matchup against this team, or was it just like, no, that's the way our drafts kind of worked out, and we just used it well?
Yeah, it just kind of went that way. We like scaling, and we scaled, and it was we had to play a little bit passive, like 10 through 16, but then at that point, I think both games we really shot off.
Yeah, yeah. So getting the Dragonshire out of the way, very strong second half. They end up taking map pick again, sending us to Volskaya. Did you
Mhm.
guys think we were gonna go to Volskaya? I mean, do you guys comfortable in Volskaya, or was that them going like, ah, this is how we're gonna beat them kind of deal?
I I don't know, honestly. I forgot Volskaya was a real map. So
I'm in that
I
same boat
yeah.
with you.
Yeah, because was it last season or 2 seasons ago that wasn't part of it? Or maybe it just wasn't part of CCL and I forgot that it was a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
There's
taken
just
out of CCL.
yeah, so I just wasn't it wasn't even on my radar, and then we're there, and I mean
It's full.
Mephisto's pretty good there.
It's full
Wait,
Skya.
no, did we play Mephisto that I don't
You
even
did.
remember now.
Game two, you played Mephisto. And so that
Yeah,
was
I
where I was
liked
going to go with game number two's question. You pull out the Mephisto Junkrat,
mhm.
have the Urel and Johanna. And I mean, I felt so bad for the Church of Orphea. That is a hell of a team to pull out and try to just pin down and find a fight. So, I mean, just walk us through like how you guys, for those watching who may not be so familiar with this comp you drove, like what brought that comp? What are your goals with the composition you were bringing in there, and how are you responding to like the Vikings being on the other team?
Um yeah, we pretty much were just drafting comforts again, but the big thing about Vikings is I mean, like if you get out macroed or whatever, or even if you don't get out macroed, like they can do some nasty little flanks with play again or whatever and try to one shot somebody, which they
Hmm.
tried to do in that last fight on bottom.
Absolutely.
But like, if we build a super tanky front line and a tanky support and two very safe damage dealers, it's hard for them to find those kills. And then at a certain point, the Vikings, at least team fight wise, kind of fall off. So, past a certain point, you can just run it down a lane and win.
Sure. Now, were you always anticipating the Vikings were coming out? It was the last pick, I believe, in that
Yeah,
entire series. So, did you draft
absolutely
that?
not.
No. Okay. That's what I was wondering. Like, it didn't seem like the Vikings necessarily were going to come out with what they had drawn. So I was
Yeah.
wondering if the way you guys changed your playstyle was an adaptation to they threw the Vikings at you, and you're like, oh well, we just sit back and use
Mhm.
Junkrat and Mephisto.
Yeah, Mephisto's good if there's extra bodies, right? So that was good. That was a slight adaptation. We were tossing around one or two other heroes there.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was expecting him to do some double support stuff. I thought it was Uther early and then like double support Zul'jin, hyper carry something, which is
Hmm.
why we picked Deckard for Emerald, which we didn't even need to take. So it was
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, absolutely. Awesome, awesome. And so Archon coming away, get the domination, get the 2-0 series. So one question I always love to ask: who do you think for the series was your team's MVP?
Me, easy peasy.
There you
Best
go.
thanks of my life.
Best thanks of my life.
No,
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I'm just messing around. But yes, I was the MVP.
All right. So last things last, I'm gonna open it up to you. Any shout outs you like to give? The floor is yours.
Um, yeah, just shout outs to my team. I think we played well. Shout outs to guys on the other team. They played a good series as well. Good to play with some of those guys again. Shout outs to you. Thank you so much for casting.
Absolutely.
It's always fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Virtuoso, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Congratulations again, Archon. Go celebrate with your team, and I'll look forward to seeing how well Archon does. You got some tough teams in that heroic division, so it's going to be interesting watching to see how that one plays out as the season goes on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, take care.
Yep, you too, man. Thank you.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me tonight. Thank you all coming in so much. I didn't want to, interrupt the cast there, but I gotta shout all these out. Four Gothers, Jane Jang, Hayton, Tiger, JTR Hots, Midnight Haze, Little Bex. Thank you all coming in so much. Dropping the follows, dropping the cheers, dropping the subs. Do appreciate all of that. Love the support. If you're enjoying yourself on the channel, make sure you do drop that follow. I go live probably 3 to 4 times a week, casting a lot of different NGS. I am gonna start casting some Storm Division this season as well. Got the call up, pulling in the rookie here. So, gonna be able to cast some of that here as well. Definitely enjoy casting some of this heroic action. Looking at what's coming next, I don't believe I have another cast lined up until next week. I believe it is next week, Tuesday. Let me double check my calendar. Yeah, next week, Tuesday is the next time I am officially signed up to cast right now. I've got a 7 p.m. Pacific time Division D West matchup between, and this is, I cast this series like twice last season when they were in Division E. Both teams got bumped up to Division D. So we got Wood League Express going up against the Deep Fried Ming Balls. That one is going to be a lot of fun. That'll be on the 17th. I'm looking to potentially grab one on Sunday or Monday. But for now, Tuesday is going to be the next time I will be live. Otherwise, it'll just be some Storm League shenanigans here on the channel between then and now. And then after Tuesday next week, there will be a couple more series I've got coming up, and I'll get those on the calendar ASAP. But for tonight, that is all I have going on. Storm Division Ice X casts Pog. Absolutely. Gonna be a lot of fun. Can't wait to start casting in the Storm Division. So let me, without further ado, find somebody for us to go raid. But thank you all again. This looks like a fun one. Oh, and it's on Ruckus channel. Let's go ahead and raid that. So I'm going to start off the raid. Thank you all so much for coming in, enjoying yourself tonight. Hope you had a lot of fun watching this series, and I will see you all here next time on this channel. For tonight, this has been IceX. Have a wonderful evening, y'all, and hopefully I'll run into you somewhere in an ARAM or a Storm League. Take care and have a wonderful night, everyone.